My childhood has been, I remember, I think whatever I am today, I keep connecting back to my childhood because I went through a kind of very learning phase. I actually lived with my father for 20 years, and my father was actually in a government service and in one of the states in southern part of India, which is Andhra Pradesh. He was in a irrigation department, and he used to work in a projects which are not having a lot of infrastructure, and he used to actually, most of the places were underdeveloped, and as the nature of his job, he used to get transferred every 2 years, and as an opportunity I got every 2 years, I used to see a new place, and sometimes I see that we consider that as a problem, because if you shift your base every 2 years, you don't make accustomed to your situations, you don't have friends long term, but I believe it has actually helped me to see different things within span of 15 years. The first 5 years has been with parents, not much into schooling, but last 10 years and 15 years, when I went from class 1 to completing my 12th standard, so it has become like very encouraging for me to see various parts of southern that Andhra Pradesh state, being in villages, being in a rural place where there was no basic needs. In fact, I remember I used to go to school in some places even by walking 7-8 kilometers every day, and those villages do not have convents like English medium schools. I actually studied in my mother tongue because of that infrastructure constraints, and so what taught me those 10-15 years is you have to make best use of your situations, and I did not study for marks, and it was very interesting to see that those schools and government infrastructure, we can understand them, the standards are not that great, but the connect with teachers, and you try to role model somebody, and at home, at work, I used to see my father, and he is very, very hardworking, and he used to work even in the being in government sector. There is no need to work in the nights, but he used to come back from office and still work at home in the nights, preparing drawings for the big. He was actually involved in the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam project, and there are many such irrigation projects in Andhra Pradesh today, because of which the state is actually agriculturally developed. When I look back, an engineer who is sitting in a small village creating those projects can make a difference, then I realized that all of us can contribute to that. So that has actually brought me that feeling that now, if you work hard and whichever job you are in, somewhere you will actually connect back to larger purpose. Fundamentally, that's what is actually made me to believe that you just continue to do what you believe, just put your best efforts, don't look at results. My father has been role model. Some of my teachers, really the way they lived a simple life, but transformed many students like us. I'm sure, I think many of us who studied in the villages must have been doing well, and so that's what actually gives me a lot of, I think, happiness to me. Naturally, I became, because I started watching my father, and that inclination towards engineering as a core subject has got developed, and I think it's true for most of the generation, in my generation, when they look up to parents. I see now probably things are changing today. I think people are looking beyond the present parents, and then look beyond their professions. But I naturally got inclined, and I got interested into engineering as a subject. So I've been to various schools up to 10th. I was in Telugu medium. The biggest challenge I had was when I was asked to move from English medium, Telugu medium to English medium in my 11th standard, because I have no choice but to make that shift. Because if you really want to get into good engineering schools, you need to change from your mother tongue to English as a medium of your education. So that was a difficult year for me, because when you study something in one language and you apply that in a different language, sometimes you understand, but the way you can get communicated. So my 11th year has been very tough for me, and most of the schools I studied and I've been school first. I 7th standard I was actually became the district ranked number 1 student. 10th I was again district number 1, the district that I probably used to study. And 11th was a very tough situation. That's what actually taught me that if you have a great interest in anything, nothing is impossible. And that year actually understanding those concepts from one medium to other medium was a challenge for me. But then we finished it, and then naturally I'm being the only son to my parents. They don't want me to go away from their hometowns. Though I had an opportunity to study in regional engineering colleges and some of the premier institutes, my father and then I decided to stay back in the hometown. I did my engineering in one of the oldest engineering colleges of those India, even prior to Britishers' time. College of Engineering in Kakinada, which is the very premier institute which has more than 70 years of experience, where my father also studied there, and it was his dream that I should also go to the same school. I joined that college and it was a fantastic 4 years, and I completed my mechanical engineering there. And so if I look at all these things, and fundamentally one thing which is education brings you access to knowledge. More than that, I think it makes your thinking very logical. What is actually important is that you get your education for getting knowledge, access to knowledge. If you are able to simplify that into your day-to-day life, and if you can bring this knowledge into a larger society, then you are done with it. It's a very difficult thing to answer. Why job? I think whether you work for living or you live for work, or you earn money for living or you live for earning money. Initial years of my career, I was having a very confused answers about it. Like any youngsters who used to come to finishing college, they have a lot of fantasies and ambition. Get a good job, get good salary, you enjoy the both work-life balance. Initially, as it was like for living you need some earning. It was probably I need to get some base on which you can actually start living independently, because you can't live on your parents' support beyond a point. So I think I came with that ambition that okay, I need to earn something to start my own life in an independent career. But gradually, I think after 7 to 8 years afterwards, I started realizing that that is not the motive. I think you're not earning for living. In fact, you need to start changing that, saying that I am actually living for doing something good for myself, good for the country, good for the society around me. Naturally, that the earning becomes part of it. So it has become, let's say, very clear to me last 10 years that why I'm doing job is not because I need to earn money. And I truly believe that every one of us, including anyone who can contribute back to society, best way to contribute is transform the knowledge that you could get, and be part in where you can contribute with your passion. And something that I believe that for me, doing this job is actually beyond any money. And at least it got clearer to me last 15 years more and more, and more importantly last 5 years, because if you look at, if you are living in a country like India, India has been my father read in the school books that India is a developing country. I also read that India is a developing country. My son is also reading that India is a developing country. When will India move from developing to a developed country? And we have to change it. I think at least I believe at least next generation should start reading in books that India is a developed country. I think and then it becomes a much more responsibility and beyond just getting into a job for earning your livelihood. I think first and foremost thing that if you are working for anyone, whether you are in a private or a public or even any of these institutions, I think first and foremost thing as an employee, I think what was coming to always in my mind is that am I giving my best for which I'm working for? Convert, it's not a company work, it's your work. If you can correct that, it's my company, it's my job. So that is actually, I believe that employee as a can contribute more if you can inculcate that culture. What makes that cultural shift? What makes the employee feel more about it? It's an environment. It's like the whole culture of the company, the whole culture of your teams, your relationship with your reporting manager. So I believe that's something India is going through a transformation. Do it for goodness, and do it. There's no selfish reasons. Company is or your organization is important, whether you're in public sector and private sector. Anything that you're doing, please look at, are you doing good for your organization or are you doing bad for your organization? Anything that, for example, we live with a lot of excellence problems, we live with a lot of quality excellence, we live with a lot of jugaad as an approach. We don't do things right first time. When I look at it, if you bring this culture as an employee that can I do it better? Answer is yes. Why don't we do it better? Because we don't realize that what I can contribute by doing that. So as an employee, I always believe, even today when I work it, every day or every month I look back and say, probably I could have done my previous job better. Probably I could have handled my assignment better. So I think this is very important that for all of us to see that we continue to challenge ourselves and do better than what we are doing. This culture, I think, is very important in the current context of where India is going through, because we still believe India has access to tremendous beautiful minds. I don't think anywhere in the globe, I am proud to see that the minds of Indians are very, very smart. They are very intelligent. It's very difficult to answer who am I. I think when I was child, I was like any other child. I was always liking to get pampered by my parents. I used to feel like I must get best attention. And when I moved out of my parents' comfort and then came into this world, I started realizing that I need to make my own identity. And like all of us go through that initial struggle. Everyone has gone through the struggle. Right? When you come from that comfort zone, you try to do something to create your own identity. And initially, yours of your career has been. So I think when I do all these things, I've been shifting like to. I consider myself as a small child to my parents, then came back to as an employee to organization for my own struggle, and then got married. I tried to be a partner to my wife. Then I got children, so I tried to be a parent. But at the end, one thing which I see that which is common factor on all of this is if you can be a good human being, you can actually fulfill all cycles of your life, and more than satisfy, you can actually make that memorable. So I want to, I think, I believe whatever profession I'm doing, I'm a human being. So I want to basically look back and say, as a human being, how can I improve more? I think while we get a lot of education, we get into a lot of good institutions, organizations to get employment. One thing I've learned is that if we can continue to look at role models, continue to read more and more about how people got successful, how people became unpopular, how companies have dealt challenges successfully, and how some of the failures have happened, because we don't need to learn many things from our own life, and because we have a very short life. I think everyone in India, average lifetime is 60 years now. We're trying to improvise that to 80 years life period. So in a 60 years life, 60 to 70 years life span that one has, you actually contribute only 20-25 years in your life. Balance time is actually going into your own identity creation, all of that. So these are the 20-25 years you need to do the best. And I'm very clear that I think today the digital connectivity, the way that knowledge available in one part of the world is accessible to us, including this initiative of having this My Stories as a concept. Today I think we all realize that it's a fingertip, you can access all of that. At least some part of our time, I think we must also learn from others, learn from the available knowledge rather than learning from our own life. Because you have to make best use of those 15-20 years. And I would encourage reading more. I would encourage definitely looking at some of these successful and unpopular models, and don't copy them, because I won't recommend reading a book and copying it. You need to understand the essence, because circumstances could be different from something which made them unpopular. Maybe can also make you unpopular, but you have to understand that probably what shift you will be able to make compared to that role model and compared to that situation. Apply that to your life and your challenging career. Maybe it can be very helpful. And I've seen that taking some role model, working passionately for that model will always give the best examples. Everyone, I think Mahatma Gandhi has great values, so we inculcate something for him, but we apply that in situations which are relevant for us. We can't apply everything, those values across our lifestyles, because you need to be sometimes like Mahatma Gandhi, you need to be sometimes like Subhash Chandra Bose. You need to look at those. So just be careful about what we learn from those examples. We need to customize to our needs and then take it forward. So I think knowledge is at fingertips today, and I fundamentally believe sharing knowledge is the best thing that we can do. So I would urge all of us, I think I'm sure every one of us have similar views and similar stories, similar knowledge to transform. Please come back and transform as much as possible. Please share your views, and this will be helpful to the larger society.